Hey, so I have a insight to share, and yeah, I'm just gonna let Spirit channel through me and share the word. So I was watching the another attempted shooting of at the White House Correspondents Dinner, and I was just really kind of like so sick and tired of having to see these events, you know, unfold. And like, you know, what I think that to me it feels like that there's so much trauma around these events, and like I know I was just getting like really frustrated, and I just felt like this warm, like kind of, I don't know, cloud literally come around me, almost like a warm hug. And I had this complete full insight of why that's happening, and I really wanted to share it because one, it's coming directly from Spirit, and two, because I think that it really can help give another view of what's going on. And that's pretty interesting to me, you know, because there's like, well, you either were so happy that that happened again, or you were either so angry that that happened again. And it's like, there's really like kind of no in between. But, you know, we don't understand God's ways. And this came to me, and it was really like an insight from God as to his way. And so I just thought it was so interesting. But basically, right around that time, I know Uranus went into Gemini, and you know, that causes a lot of shakeups, awakenings, tower moments, things that are kind of unexpected. But it also deals with the media. And what was so interesting is that was the White House Correspondents Dinner, which is all the media. And this insight that came to me was just like, you know, this is going to awaken the media to what they have created over the last, 10 years of this really negative view of Trump and what he's about and who he is. And it's been a constant barrage from the media over and over and over about how horrible this guy is, what a threat to democracy, all this stuff. And they literally had a shooter who said that his intention was to run up that aisle and shoot everything in his path to get up to the Trump administration. And that, so when I got this insight, it was like, so the media is going to be waking up to what their words have caused. And when you are involved in a very traumatic situation like that, you know, sometimes we self-reflect, and sometimes we, you know, blame or project. And a lot of these people are going to self-reflect about their role in this whole ordeal. And so kind of what Spirit had showed me was that their view, their portrayal in the media of Trump is going to shift. And when this shifts, again, it's going to take time for people to accept it and digest it. But it's going to awaken and disclose a whole bunch of information to a whole bunch of people, especially in the United States. And this awakening is going to be very shocking for some people. And that's because the mind is a very interesting organ. I guess I wouldn't even say that, but okay. Let me just give you my experience, okay? My experience has been that when someone speaks negatively about you for a very long time, over and over and over, and that person doesn't even know you, it doesn't even matter. Their mind has been literally programmed that you're a threat, you're dangerous, and it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you say, that person may not even know you, but there is this defensiveness, there is this hatred, and then there comes the extremes where they feel they have to fight you, they feel that they need to destroy you so that they can feel safe again. And if you look at what people are doing, especially the ones who want to harm on this particular side, then it starts to make sense, right? And so my experience has been that I've had this done to me many times, and no matter what I did or what I said, what was reality, they still attacked me no matter what. No matter what. They didn't even know me. There was nothing I could say, nothing I could do. And these were close family members. And what I realized was that, you know, they believed that from a trusted source that the information that was coming to them was true. And so I was constantly being talked bad about and negatively and lies, and these people believed that I was bad. And so, I mean, it makes sense why they would be just defensive, be rude, you know, not want to hear anything about it, you know, and all this. And when it comes down to it, it's understanding how the mind works. And when you understand that the mind is very like open, fertile land for seeds to be planted, and when these seeds are planted over and over and over again in the mind, you start to believe that. And what happens is you start to project that out into your reality, whether it is the truth or not. There's nothing that anyone can do to change your mind from that by even showing you proof. Like, that's not true. And so this is how the mind works, and it's the very first universal law, and it cannot be broken, and that is that all is mind. And so there are some very wise people who know this, and they know that, let's go back to the Trump situation. They've been calling him a threat to democracy, a threat to your freedoms, a threat to your rights, that he's going to take everything away from you for years and years and years. And that, you know, he's going to ruin the economy, he's going to take away this right, he's going to take away that right, and basically that he's just a threat. And as that has been said for years and years and years, especially by the media, people now feel like they need to fight this threat. And on the other side, you know, people are looking at it and going like, that's just crazy. Like, how does that even compute, right? You know, because I look at Trump as more of an economic standpoint, in that he's a capitalist, he is a businessman, he wants to see America thrive as far as our economy goes, and that was probably the most important thing to me, because if this country were to ever become a socialist country, which there's a lot of people pushing for that, and there's even mayors and governors that are outwardly, I'm a socialist. Socialism has been proven to be the death of freedom, the death of democracy. Like, you no longer are free, and you think that you will be, but nobody really is. And so that to me was probably the most important thing for our country, and we're very unique in that we are a free nation, a capitalist country. And I just always saw, like, the benefits that outweighed some of the negative things. And I think that it is very hard to comprehend both sides. And like, anytime the media would start saying these things, to me, I would be like, in my head, like, dude, that's just not true. Like, it's literally not true. And what happens is, then it's like this extreme division between all of us. And what has occurred is really truly just Spirit restoring America to its true freedom. And although that is very hard to see, like, he's working on a mass scale, right? Like, our ways are not his ways. And so what I saw was that the awakening on the mass scale is going to come through media. And that doesn't necessarily mean traditional media, but the things that have been hidden will now be revealed. And when that happens, a lot of people's minds are going to reject it, want to fight it, not be able to accept it. And you can kind of have like a mental breakdown a little bit. And I just want to say that, like, you have to, I think it will come like slow, but I think that there will be a lot of people who are very lost in what they believed to be true. And basically what the bottom line of this all is, like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Again, the bottom line is to restore America to its true nature, and to, I guess, revitalize, restore our trust in God, to that God's got America, like, it's very interesting to me. But what this is showing me is that, you're going to see how what you consume in your mind planted these seeds. And I firmly believe that, like, if you have believed, that this is one way, it's going to be literally ripped apart and shown to you the truth, and almost like you won't be able to not accept it. And that can be a scary thing. And I just want to say, like, you're not alone. You can get through this. You're not going crazy. it is truly an awakening of, I guess, a restoration of America. And so the word is that, like, God is doing this thing that we may not understand. And we may, see it as good or bad, but it's really truly at like a deeper meaning behind things, so that we can understand how we truly create. And it will bring down a lot of power structures. And I mean in the best way possible, to where you no longer are allowing your mind to be infiltrated by outside sources. And once that happens, now you can truly create, the prosperity and the life that you've always wanted, because you're no longer being consumed by something that you feel you need to fight against. Like, you're safe. And once you can come to this understanding that nothing's taking anything from you, and you are safe, and that you can trust Spirit that is taking care of everything in that whole area, now you can rest and start to create what you truly want, instead of being ruled by others that are putting and planting seeds in your mind. So my wisdom comes from experience, but this insight came from literally just watching this Correspondents Dinner and watching another, active shooter trying to harm people. And I was really sad, because it's really hard for me to understand where your head has to be at that level that you want to kill another human being just for their politics or their words, or honestly because you believe that they're some sort of threat. And I'm just so sick of it. I'm at the point where I'm like, something's got to give. But then I got that really reassuring message that it is being taken care of. And behind the scenes, this is something that's very hidden. And when these people start awakening and turning their messaging from so hateful, so threatening, so dangerous, so bad, to either a neutral point or even a positive light, because these people never want to be in a room with the president when there's an active shooter, it's going to jar some people. What do you mean? It's been, 10 years and you have continued to tell me this, and now you're saying the opposite. So it's very hypocritical, and you will see that it is truly, your own mind that absorbs, like I said, these seeds. So there has been this two sides, America divided, right, left. And there is an opportunity to come out of that energy. And I think that, that's the opportunity of this all right now, is who's sick and tired of this? I know I am. And I just want to come out of that energy to where we can relate to each other just as Americans. and no longer by that there's any threat to our country. And having an understanding of both sides, where we've been and what needs to change. And really that is, what you are allowing into your mind. And it's so important because that is like I said, the fertile land where seeds are planted. And you can't create like that. You give away your power like that. It's like you're being controlled by what someone else says. And, you have the power to take back your own power of creation, to not allow that. And that's what this is going to show. And so, I don't really understand all of it. I just know that that's what I was shown, that is very hidden, that it is, God's got a plan. Basically, if there's anything that is the most important thing, is like, just trust that it is all being taken care of. And if you really want to be out of that energy of really third dimensional energy, this is your opportunity to really be like, that's what I want. I no longer want to live in this divided world. And, ask Spirit to show you. And, I think that's what I did 10 years ago. And it has been not easy. It has been probably the most difficult thing that I've ever done. And I just, I definitely can be a anchor for you in this awakening, because I know I'm not going anywhere. And I think that it should be more fun and lighthearted, and I took mine to the millionth extreme of trauma for my own self, and it really doesn't have to be like that. It does not have to be so dramatic, but that's me. And so really, if I can tell you that the true intention of your awakening is to liberate you, to free you, so that you can really enjoy the rest of your life with these, almost like you're a kid again, where you can just do what you love and really play, and we don't have this energy anymore of so much hate and division. And not like I'm saying that won't ever be around, but for you, when you can understand the deeper messages, that truly it is a blessing in disguise, for those that are awakening to see what you've been allowing your mind to absorb, and that's been taking over, and now you can go, wait a minute, yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. They say this, and now you have these people who are literally giving up their own lives to attempt to fight what they believe is this evil or danger or threat to democracy, giving up their own life for this. And it doesn't have to be like that. Yes, people will still continue to be like that, and that's because they choose to. But I believe that it is truly a gift and a blessing, and those who can look at it in that way will be able to ascend through this energy. And I mean, trust me, I get involved in it all the time. You know, if I start scrolling on Twitter, it's like insane. You know, I'm so angry at just other people's choices. And again, like, I have to get out of that and just be like, you know, I know that God has a plan and I can trust it. And so, like, I don't need to be so angry about other people's choices, that they believe, you know, these lies, that they have allowed this complete mind control to take over, the seeds of fear and threats, and their nervous systems are on complete high alert, and they are ready to put themselves in harm's way, to die for this. And it is an illusion. That's like the saddest thing for me. You know, like, it's just very sad to witness. But these things must happen, right? They have to happen for us to witness, so that we go, wait a minute, what's going on here? And truly it becomes an awakening into a new reality for you, to where you no longer allow those seeds to penetrate into your mind and then project out into your reality, which then ultimately gives you the power of conscious manifestation or conscious creation. And you can now say no. Like, no, I'm not going to allow this. And, you know, like for myself, it's been really hard, because I have had to completely remove myself from certain situations that were constantly planting these seeds. And sometimes, you know, there was a few that was very hard for me to like walk away from, but I had to do it because there was no more, like, I had to accept that this is who they were, and they were constantly planting that into my aura, my mind, my energetic body, and it was destroying me. And I ended up getting PTSD. Like I said, I took it to, you know, the extreme trauma, but I think for me, I had to go there, so that I could recognize that I truly have the power of my own mind and what I can allow and not allow into my mind. And it's really hard to understand, but a lot of it is hidden. And that's where, like, they can say, you know, I guess you would call it like gaslighting, but sometimes they really aren't doing it intentionally. They're really believing that they care or that they're not trying to harm you, but there is this hidden energy being projected that is of fear or of control or of manipulation or turning on your nervous system to where you literally are losing control of your own system, and it's being run by outside circumstances, outside people, outside events, outside everything. And it's like, no. Okay? No. I have to get to a place where, you know, when someone's saying something, but they're the actual seeds that are being planted out are what's, you know, bountiful and plentiful. You know, something just came into my mind about what God just said. Like he said, in those days, you will know them by their fruits. And that's what, so when you plant a seed and the bush or the tree grows and then it produces a fruit, is that fruit bitter and rotten, or is it fruitful and bountiful and yummy and sweet, right? So like the fruit is what's kind of hidden. It's what you ingest. It's what you feel. It's what you can comprehend through your energetic body, not through your mind. And I think that or your brain actually. But I think that the other people as well, like, they're not understanding that their brain is saying one thing to them, but what is literally being absorbed or taken into their energetic body is a whole nother thing, right? And so this is where you have to be, have very good discernment, is like by their fruits, right? So what are they producing in you? You know, is it just, do you feel like that's truth? Like, here's what I'm telling you. I know that God is in control of all of this. And there's a plan. And that plan is to awaken you to the truth of who you are. And being able to let go of the illusion. So there's a plan and you can trust it. So it's almost like you can kind of go like where your mind is maybe like going and spinning, and what do I need to do? Should I do something? I need to fight. I need to, you know, even myself, it happens to me too, where I'm like, I need to respond to this, you know. It's like, why? I never really get any sort of, like, I'll respond to something and then it's just like, do I feel better? Like, maybe, but who knows if people even see this stuff, right? But it helps you to kind of let go of that control where you're like, I need to do something about this, or, you know, whatever. And if you can just trust that it's being taken care of behind the scenes, then you know that you're like, it's like it just releases you from that worry and fear. Yeah, it's just time for, like I said, again, the hidden to become revealed, so that you can start planting your own seeds in your own mind. I mean, doesn't that feel empowering? It feels empowering to me. Like, oh my gosh, I don't have to, like, do anything with this other than allow God to reveal the hidden parts to me. That's pretty cool.